Hello. Welcome to my 31st October. I'm Lucky27, and this is a series of stories I have often told about my life. Welcome to part 3 of the story entitled The Winchester Mystery House. Now, I have a love affair with the ballroom. It's just my favorite room in the whole place, that and the conservatory. We were headed toward the ballroom when I noticed a woman rushing up the roped-off stairs on the left before entering the ballroom. Boy, was she quick as a cat. It was an instant, but I saw her rush up the stairs and stand on the landing before disappearing. So I took a picture. I asked my mom if she had seen her, and she said she had. She felt like she was staff, but not a maid, like a housekeeper or something to that effect, and I agreed with her. Then we went into the ballroom, and I was so happy that I forgot about everything. Until it was near the end of the tour, and we passed this small diamond-shaped hole in a wall where, on the other side of it, I heard someone say, "Hello." It was quick and happy, but nobody was there. I put my camera through the diamond-shaped hole and snapped a picture. My mom hadn't heard it. The last thing that happened while on the normal tour was in the last room. They served us hot apple cider, which I promptly burned my mouth on, and there were set costumes from the Winchester movie that had come out set up in the room. I was trying to take pictures of the costumes when I heard the sound of a cup setting down onto a saucer with silverware on it from behind me. I turned, and there was this little square table with some tea party place settings. Nobody was around it, and it was roped off, but I heard that sound very clearly. So I took a picture. We then moved on to the new tour. I have to say this about that tour. I honestly think that most of what my mother and I felt and saw during the new tour was residual. I think the sound of China in the other tour was as well, but it also felt like what was in the house was used to hiding up in the boarded up areas when tourists were around, and now that it was no longer boarded up, they didn't know what to do with themselves. I feel like what spirits are in the house don't much like hanging around with tourists or large groups. But now they don't have that place to hide anymore. So one of the few things that did not feel residual was an oval-shaped stained glass window, where both my mother and I saw someone from the outside looking in. Though we were told that someone had gotten a picture of someone looking out from that window. There was a different window where I felt someone looking out from it, but I didn't see them. There were windows that we looked down into and felt someone looking back up at us from in the house, as well as balconies that felt like someone was hiding from us on them. We were consistently being followed as we were in the back of the tour, and we just felt that it was very active with things that just replayed. Then we had a little bit of a scare. My mother and a lady we had never met were taking pictures and chatting away about the house. This was the lady's first time in the house, and they were deep into conversation. But then I realized that the tour had left us, and I couldn't hear them anymore. Now, this wouldn't have been a problem on the normal tour, since I knew the house very well, at least well enough that I feel I could have found the tour easily enough. But I had never been to these parts of the house before. I brought this to my mother's attention, and panic ensued. Not from my mom, but from the other lady. My mom sent me out to find the group while she calmed the lady down. Now, when I say I had no idea where I was going, I mean I had no idea. I couldn't hear the tour either, but somehow I just knew where to go. It wasn't like having spatial awareness, like being able to find your car in a parking lot. It felt more like muscle memory. I just knew where to go. The rooms I passed and the stairs I took were completely unknown to me, but I found the tour within maybe 2 minutes. I ran back up the stairs and guided my mother and the lady back down to the group just before they entered into the basement, which I had also never been to. Thankfully, nobody seemed to notice we were gone. Now, there was plenty more residual situations in the basement. It was so busy down there with activity that I couldn't see, but I felt. My mom felt it too, and then we both felt the only dark energy that we had felt in the entire place. It felt almost desperate to get out, but it couldn't. We felt it was being held there by the good things in the house, but it was down a long, dark hall. But we also felt Mr. C or K from upstairs down there too. He seemed fairly at home with this wheelbarrow that was down there. The last place in the basement made me feel sick. I got a headache and was hot and nauseous. I was standing near a post, just waiting for the feeling to pass, when the tour guide started talking about the post that I was next to. There was a duty log, handwritten, on the post from over 100 years ago, and as soon as I stepped away from the post, I felt fine. Then the tour was over. My mom gave me some space while we left the house, since I think she knew I was heartbroken about having to leave. I had looked at the house once more, said my goodbyes to everyone and everything, and I turned to go. I'll admit I was close to tears. Imagine my surprise when I felt my mother's arm around my waist as she gave me a little squeeze, like she does when I'm upset. She's shorter than me, so wrapping her arm around my waist is easier than trying to wrap around my shoulders. I went to put my arm around her shoulders to give her a squeeze back when my arm went through her, or rather, she wasn't there. She was several paces in front of me, walking away. But I could still feel the arm around my waist. I don't know who it was, but they were quite a bit smaller than me. I wasn't scared. I just said thank you for the comfort and goodbye from the bottom of my heart. Then I left with my mom. I don't think I was much fun on the ride home, but such is as it is. So that was my Winchester stories. I sincerely hope I covered everything that my subscriber wanted me to cover. A quick edit that was not in the original video. So, a few months ago, my sister and mother visited Winchester with the West Coast TAPS group for a group paranormal hunt. According to my sister, there is a spirit named Glenn that was a carpenter at the house when it was being built. He hung around with the group. Now, could this have been the man that followed my mother and I around the last time I was there? I did say that I thought his name was something like Gary or Greg, but it could have started with a C or a K. Maybe his last name started with a C or a K, and his name really was Glenn, not Greg or Gary. Or maybe this was somebody else completely. She also said that there was a spirit with them in the ballroom that liked cats. Was that the lady on the stairs, or someone else? Who knows? But it is interesting. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the journey with me. I'm not sure how often I'll be posting something here, so leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and the bell, so you get updated when I do post. If you have questions or you want to know more about something I've said, please leave a comment and maybe I'll make a video explanation on the subject. But please be polite and courteous with the comments. My feelings don't get hurt, but the world has enough hate and judgment in it. It doesn't need yours on this video. If you think you know who I am, please don't leave a comment guessing my identity. Just send an email to the address in the description box. Thanks, and I'll see you when I see you.